Hey guys, it's Leo here. Welcome back to the Reading Project. Today we're going to read a book called The Girl with a Mind for Math, The Story of Ray Montague by Julia Finlay Mosca. If there's something you want but it seems out of reach, here's a story for you, a great truth it will teach. When you focus your mind, you'll succeed through and through, like one bold engineer by the name Montague. In a state we call Arkansas, one winter day, a baby was welcomed, a girl they called Ray. She was bright as a star, super smart from the start. She was headstrong, this child, and not faint of heart. Yes, this girl had potential. Her granddad was proud. He told her, "Work hard, you'll stand out from the crowd." Then something she cherished, when Ray was just 7, he took her to see her first ship. It was heaven. "A real submarine?" Her eyes opened wide. "Who made it?" she asked as they followed the guide. "Engineers," said the man, giving Ray's head a pat. "But my dear, you don't need to know all about that." At the time, the man's insult went over her head. "No, you can't," were the words he had meant but not said. Engineering, thought Ray, and her life's dream began, except most people laughed when she told them her plan. "Stay strong," said her mom. "Use your brains, you'll be fine. There will always be people who pay you no mind. Just because you're a girl and because you're black, don't let them or the state of your school hold you back." You see, schools in those days were what's called segregated. The black and white students were kept separated. "That's wrong," you exclaim. "It was dismal, no fooling. And worst of all, white kids received better schooling." But Ray studied hard. She had grit, taught herself. She was gifted in math and read books by the shelf. When the time came for college, she knew what to choose. She'd learned to build boats, but she got some bad news. "Engineering's not taught to black students," they said. Her heart hit the floor. "I'll take business instead." She'd learn what she could, and she'd learn the rest later. The rules were unjust, but that school wouldn't break her. Ray finished with honors. Oh boy, what a smarty. She said her farewells. There was no time to party. "I'm off to a place filled with history's greats, the capital city of all 50 states. Now finding a job, it turned out that took time." She looked and she looked. Ray was not one to whine. Then it must have been fate. At least that's what it seems. She was hired to type where they built submarines. The Navy, that's right. Oh, but hold all your cheers. Ship designing was only for trained engineers. So she watched as they worked and she learned every task, even studied computers by night in the class. Then her big break arrived. The whole staff got the flu. Ray did all of her work and the engineers too. Her boss was in shock. How?" he exploded. "From memory," said Ray, and with that, got promoted. Life should have been swell, yet that wasn't the case. Her boss treated her poorly because of her race. Many people like him tried to make her feel small. Ray just held her head high, and she outworked them all. What next? From the White House, there came a command. The president ordered a ship, make it grand, and quickly. He added, well, that didn't fly. All those plans would take engineers months to supply. Here's the thing about that. When designing a boat, there are thousands of measurements one needs to note. All those numbers take math, and that takes some time. But Ray had been working on something sublime. She took a deep breath. "I can solve this," she said. "I've come up with a system to do it instead. I'll draw the plans faster," she told him. "Don't fret. I'll design the first ship by computer. No sweat." "How long do you think that might take?" "What's your guess? Would it take her a month? Maybe weeks for success?" Well, it took calculations and tons of caffeine, but Ray finished in hours, just over 18. Her program? It worked. All the blueprints were done. The ship was constructed, the engineers stunned. "You did it," they cheered, and her boss had to say that her quick mind for math had in fact saved the day. The end? No, not quite. When Ray's ship was unveiled, only white men could go, and Ray's invite? Not mailed. Say what? You heard right. No invite? abhorrible. In fact, some might say it was downright deplorable. Yet Ray kept her cool, gave her best every day, and in time all her skills were applauded. Hooray! People learned of her work. Who's this, Ray? They demand. When they met her, they stared. They expected a man. Yes, that happened a lot. Many could not believe that a woman of color did all she'd achieved. Some even thought Ray was a maid. Sad but true. When they ordered a drink, she'd say, "Bring me one too." All her humor and wit served her well through the years, as she battled the hard times with laughs and not tears. And that boss in the Navy who'd been so unkind made Ray the first woman to lead ship design. More honors would follow, her fame picked up steam, and finally at last she accomplished her dream. That title she'd worked for, an engineer, score! Now that the world knows her feats, she is hidden no more. Ray Montague, engineer. So the lesson to all is don't ever give in. Take a chance, rock the boat. If it sinks, you can swim. When a storm comes your way, hold your course and don't stress. Never quit, and like Ray, propel straight to success. Dear reader, if you have a dream like I did, study hard and stay focused. Always remember that just because someone says you can't, that doesn't have to stop you. You might have to go in a different direction and it might take you a little longer, but you can achieve your dreams. Ray Montague. The end. Thanks for watching. I love that story and I really hope so did you guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and please share. To see you next time.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan here. So today we're going to read a book called Creepy Pair of Underwear by Aaron Reynolds. So let's start. Creepy pair of underwear. Jasper Rabbit needed new underwear. On Thursday, Mom took him to the underwear store and grabbed the last 3 packages of plain white. But as they headed for the checkout, Jasper spotted them. They were glorious. Mom, can we get this? Jasper pleaded. I think they're a little too creepy, said Mom. They're not creepy, they're cool, said Jasper. I'm not a little bunny anymore, I'm a big rabbit now. Mom agreed to buy 1 pair. That night, Jasper wore his cool new underwear to bed. Do you want me to leave the hallway light on? asked Dad. Dad, I'm not a little bunny anymore, said Jasper. I'm a big rabbit now. His dad shut the door and that's when Jasper noticed the underwear glowed, a ghostish greenish glow. He closed his eyes. He pulled up the covers. He buried his face in his pillow, but it didn't help. He could still see that gooish greenish glow. Jasper leapt out of bed and put on a pair of plain white. He stuffed the creepy underwear into the bottom of his laundry hamper. He finally fell asleep. But when he got up the next day, he was wearing the creepy underwear. Jasper threw them into the garbage can. He was still a big rabbit. He wasn't scared or anything, but he was done with scary underwear. After school, Jasper was doing his homework when he heard it. A scratchy, scrapping sound coming from his dresser. He opened the drawer and they were back, staring at him with that gooish greenish glow. He snatched the creepy underwear out of the drawer. He grabbed a big envelope and some stamps. Bye-bye, scary underwear, he said, dropping the package in the mailbox. When he opened the front door the next morning, there they were. And were those chopsticks? His creepy pair of underwear had somehow returned from China, and it had brought back souvenirs. Jasper grabbed his mom's good sewing scissors. She didn't like him using them. But this was an underwear emergency! This time, the creepy underwear were gone for good. At bedtime, he slowly opened his underwear drawer. Nothing, just plain white undies. He searched under his bed. He shook out his lampshades. Ooh, there was no sign of creepy underwear. He went into the bathroom to comb his ears. They were back. What's the matter with you? His mom asked. You're so jittery lately. Nothing, he yelped. A grown rabbit couldn't be terrified of his underpants. He seized the underwear. He snagged a shovel from the garage and he ran. He didn't stop pedaling until he reached Creekinger Hill. Jasper began to dig. He dug until his hole was dark and deep and 100% underwear proof. He dropped the underwear in. They gleamed from the bottom, that gooish greenish glow, but not for long. When he got home, Jasper crept up to his dresser. They couldn't be in there. There was no way, right? He reached for the handle. He peeked in. Nothing, just plain white. Jasper smiled and turned out the light. There was just one problem. It was really dark in there, even for a big rabbit. Jasper turned on the light. He looked at his non-glowy pair of plain white, and he knew what he had to do. The creepy underwear were a little muddy, but they still filled the room with that gentle greenish glow. The next day, Jasper gathered his allowance money and went to the underwear store all by himself, just like a big rabbit. That night, Jasper wasn't scared at all. As he lay down to sleep, he smiled. And so did his underwear, because they had finally found somebody who wasn't scared of creepy underwear. The end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hi, it's Leor here. Today we're going to read a book, Lola Loves Stories. Lola Loves Stories by Anna McQueen. Lola's daddy takes her to the library on Saturdays. The library is very busy, but Lola finds some excellent books. Lola's daddy reads the first story at home. It is about a fairy princess. All the next day, Lola wears her fancy dress and a sparkly crown. She's a fabulous fairy princess. On Sunday night, Lola and her mommy read the next story. It is about an amazing journey. On Monday, Lola takes her friends on fantastic trips to places like Paris and Lagos. On Tuesday, Lola chooses a story about friends. All afternoon, she and Ben play with their babies. Lola has cappuccino and her baby has juice. Tuesday night, Lola's mom reads a story about fierce tigers. The next day, Lola chases her friend Orla all over the jungle. On Wednesday night, Lola reads a story about Old MacDonald. The next day, she's a farmer. Lola's cow has a boo-boo. Mommy knows how to fix it. On Thursday night, Lola and her daddy read about building. The next day, Lola fixes up her house. She needs a hammer, a saw, and a little help from her daddy. On Friday night, Lola's daddy makes up a story about magic shoes. The next day, Lola's shoes are truly amazing. They sparkle all the way to the library and all the way home. They even sparkle while her daddy reads her story about a wild and wicked monster. What will Lola be tomorrow? The end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hi, my name is Jonathan. Today we're going to read the book How Do Dinosaurs Go to School? How do dinosaurs go to school? by Jane Yolen and Mark Tegue. How does a dinosaur go to school? Does he walk? Does he ride in a busy carpool? Does he drag his long tail? Is he late for the bus? Does he stomp all 4 feet? Does he make a big fuss? When he gets to the school, does he roughhouse and punch? Does he make a quick grab for a classmate's packed lunch? Does he race up the stairs right ahead of the bell? Does he interrupt class with his own show and tell? Does the dinosaur yell? And when in the classroom, plunked down in his chair, does a dinosaur fidget his tail in the air? Does he growl during chalk talks or roar out of turn? Does he make it too hard for the others to learn? Does he stir up the classroom by making a noise? Does he tease all the girls? Does he pick on the boys? No. A dinosaur carefully raises his hand. He helps out his classmates with projects they've planned. At recess, he plays with a number of friends and growls at the bullies till bullying ends. He tidies his desk, then he leaps out the door. Good work, little dinosaur. The end, and don't forget to subscribe.
Hey guys, it's Lior here. Welcome back to the Reading Project. Today's story is called Malala's Magic Pencil by Malala Yousafzai. So, let's get started. Do you believe in magic? When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry, and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. How I wanted a magic pencil too. If I had a magic pencil, I would use it too. Put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me. Stop time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning. Erase the smell of the trash dump near our house. And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother, the best buildings in the valley for my father so he could open many schools where children would study for free. A proper ball so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old sock stuffed with rubbish. Every night before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own. And every morning I woke up and checked my cupboard, but the magic pencil was never there. One day I was throwing away potato peels and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies, and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes, when I saw a girl about my age sorting trash into piles. Nearby boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings. When my father returned home from work, I told him what I'd seen. It made him sad. "Abba?" I said. "Yes, Johnny," he said back. I always liked when he called me dear one. Why haven't I seen that girl in my class? Because, he said, but he didn't finish right away. Because, Johnny, in our country, not everyone sends their daughters to school, and some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find. If they went to school, their families would go hungry. School was my favorite place, but I'd never considered myself lucky to be able to go. My father had always said, Malala will live free as a bird. Now I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night, I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how when I was older, I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I come from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had the magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war, poverty, and hunger. Then, I would draw girls and boys together as equals. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons. One by one, girls stopped coming to school. But where are all the students? They don't feel safe here anymore, Johnny. How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought they might help. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? I wrote about what it felt like to be scared, to walk to school, and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country, sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. My voice became so powerful that the dangerous man tried to silence me, but they failed. And now, my voice is louder than ever. Louder because people have joined me, and together we make chorus, standing up for what we believe. We raise our voices for those in need. Help people in danger even if they are an ocean away. Think of the world as a family. Do you still believe in magic? I do. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and help me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for, in my words and in my work. The end. If you had a magic pencil, what would you use it for? Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Leora here. Today we're going to read The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle.
The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. On Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop, out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt much better. Now he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out, and He was a beautiful butterfly. The end. Hi there, it's Lior here. Thanks for joining me today. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you next time.
How are you guys doing today? Are you ready for our next book? So today I'm in Philadelphia, not far from the public library that established in 1927. I borrowed this book from there. It's called I Really Like Slop by Mo Willems. I really like slop. La la la. Hi Gerald. Hi Piggy. Yikes. What is that? This is slop. Slop? Yummy, yummy slop. Yummy? You eat that? Sure, I eat this. Pigs really like slop. Eating slop is part of pig culture. Oh. Should it smell like that? Yes! What about all of those flies? The flies are how you know it is ripe. Yeah, man. Do you want to try my slop? Do I want to try her slop? No way! Oh, okay. Piggy, wait! Yes, Gerald? I will go try your slop. Yay! Maybe you'll really like slop. Maybe. Try a big taste. I will try a small taste. Look. That is a small taste. You're close to trying slop. You're closer. Closer. You tried it. Spicy, huh? Do you know how I get that old shoe taste? Old shoes. Irk, 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 irk. So, do you really like slop? No, I do not really like slop. I'm glad I tried it, because I really like you. Aw, Gerald. Dessert? Don't push it, bub. The end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hi there, I'm so happy you found us here in the Decals Reading Project. I'm Alona, and I would love to read along with you today the book Sheep, Dog, and Sheep, Sheep by Eric Barclay. Sheep, Dog, and Sheep, Sheep. This is Sheep. She loves to dance. She knows all kinds of fancy dances, like the wildflower dance, the mud puddle dance, the get this spider off of me dance, and of course the pee-pee dance. Dancing makes her very happy, and when she's happy, she closes her eyes. And when she closes her eyes, she bumps into things, usually trees. But one day, she bumped into something that wasn't a tree. It was a someone, a very hairy someone. "Holly Begonia," she said, "who are you?" "I'm the sheepdog," the someone replied. "I watch the sheep." "Well, I'm a sheep. I watch sheep too. Everyone knows I'm an expert at watching sheep. I don't see how you can be much of a sheep watcher with all that hair in your eyes. But I can fix that for you. Be right back." She skipped off toward the farmhouse. Just then, Sheepdog spotted an eagle overhead. It was looking at sheep like a mouse looks at cheese. The eagle dived, but Sheepdog told him to vamoose. Sheep found Sheepdog waiting for her outside the farmhouse, and she tied his hair into a pretty bow. "Now you'll be able to see the sheep," she said, "except you're still missing something very important. Be right back." Sheepdog looked around. It was true he could see a little better with his hair pulled up. There was the shade, and the apple tree, and the coyote. "Coyote!" Sheepdog told him to skedaddle. Sheep returned with some binoculars. "Here you go," she said. "Now you'll be able to keep a sharp eye out for eagles and coyotes. Now, I don't suppose you have a map under all this hair, do you?" Sheepdog shook his head no. "Well, you're going to need a map so you won't get lost. Be right back." She danced her way toward the old truck to retrieve a map. The dance made her very happy. She closed her eyes, and because her eyes were closed, she couldn't see that. But Sheepdog did. Sheep kept on dancing. She had some extra fancy moves. Like most of sheep dances, this one ended with a bump on the head, but she had meant to do that. Really? Sheep fished the mop out of the glove box and handed it to Sheepdog. You're all set. You've got the hair bow, so you can see, binocular to keep an eye out for danger, and a map so you won't get lost. Sheep thought for a moment. Now all we need are the sheep. She looked around. Not a sheep in sight. She borrowed Sheepdog's binoculars. Still no sheep. She unfolded the map. Yep, they were definitely in sheep country. Where are all the sheep? She asked. Did you lose them? You're the only sheep, Sheepdog said. Sheep sat down and thought about being only a sheep, and not a sheep. And when she thought, she got very still. And when she got very still, she got very quiet. Thinking could do that. Finally, Sheepdog spoke. Maybe you're not a sheep. Maybe you're a dog sheep, and your job is to watch the dog. After a moment, Sheep replied, Well, of course I'm a dog sheep. Everyone knows I'm an expert at watching dogs. The end. Bye for now. Please subscribe. Hi there, it's Alona. Thanks for joining me today and welcome to the reading project. Today we're gonna read My Granny Went to Market. Let's check it out. My Granny Went to Market, a round the world counting rhyme. Written by Stella Blackstone, illustrated by Christopher Core. My granny went to market to buy a flying carpet. She bought the flying carpet from a man in Istanbul. It was trimmed with yellow tassels and made of knotted wool. Next, she went to Thailand and flew down from the sky to buy herself 2 temple cats, Puyin and Puchai. Puyin means little girl and Puchai means little boy. Then she headed westwards to the land of Mexico. She bought 3 fierce and funny musks, 1 pink, 1 blue, 1 yellow. The flying carpet seemed to know exactly where to take her. They went to China next to buy 4 lanterns made of paper. The symbol on the lanterns means double happiness. To Switzerland, cried Granny as the carpet turned around. She bought 5 cowbells there that made a funny clanking sound. Now Africa, sang Granny, we must wake the morning sun. So they shimmied south to Kenya where she bought 6 booming drums. Next they headed northward past the homes of mountain trolls, to stop a while in Russia for 7 nesting dolls. Australia, Granny ordered, take me down to Alice Springs. I want 8 buzzing boomerangs that fly back without wings. Then Granny sighed, I've bought so much, but nothing Japanese. In Tokyo she found 9 kites that fluttered in the breeze. But best of all, she met me in the mountains of Peru, where she gave me 10 black llamas and a magic carpet too. And I flew away to... The end. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. See you next time. Bye!
Hi guys, it's Yonton. Are you ready for our next book? I'm so excited because it's such a funny one. Let's start. Baxter the Pig Who Wanted to Be Kosher by Laurel Snyder. One fine day, when Baxter was waiting for his bus, an old man sat down beside him and said, "Oh, I wish it were sundown right now." "Why's that?" asked Baxter. He was a curious sort of pig. "Because at sundown," said the old man, "the candles gleam and glow and dance, while our sweetest voices lift in song." "They do?" asked Baxter. He had never seen a candle dance. "Certainly," said the old man. "Tonight is the beginning of Shabbat, the day of rest, and so we make a special dinner. We light the candles, sing our thanks, and raise a glass, surrounded by those we love best." "Wow," said Baxter. "That does sound like fun. That sounds terrific." "It is terrific," said the old man as his bus pulled up. Then he was gone. All week long Baxter thought about the old man's words. The candles gleam and glow and dance, while our sweetest voices lift in song. So the following Friday, Baxter hurried back to the bus stop, but the old man was nowhere to be seen. Instead, Baxter found a younger man, wearing a long white apron. After a while, Baxter cleared his throat. "Ahem, I wonder, sir, do you know anything about Shabbat dinner?" "I should hope so," replied the man in the apron. "Oh, good," said Baxter. "Will you tell me how I can be part of it?" The man in the apron stared. "You, a pig? Part of Shabbat dinner? That's impossible." "Why?" asked Baxter. "You're not kosher," said the man in the apron. "Kosher?" asked Baxter. "What's kosher?" But just then the bus arrived. That night, Baxter happened to be at the grocery store when he noticed a jar on the very top shelf. "Kosher," read the big block letters across the jar of pickles. Why, Baxter loved pickles. That week Baxter ate pickles, pickles and pickles and pickles, pickle sandwiches and pickle soup, pickles for breakfast and pickles in bed. On Friday he arrived at the bus stop, smelling of vinegar and lugging his jar. But this time there was a woman in a large hat sitting on the bench. When Baxter sat down beside her, she wrinkled her nose and scooched away from him. "What's with the pickle juice?" she asked. "I found kosher," Baxter said proudly. "Mazel tov," said the woman in the large hat. "So what?" "So," he said, "do you think I'm kosher yet?" The woman in the large hat just laughed. "Pickles can dress up a sandwich or brighten a day. They're good, but they aren't that good." Sadly, Baxter set down his jar. The next day Baxter returned to the grocery store. "Excuse me, sir," he said to the store manager. "Do you have anything else kosher?" The pickles were delicious, but I'm afraid they didn't quite do the trick. The manager pointed Baxter toward an enormous pile of fresh bread. Baxter had never tasted raisin challah before. Mmm. 5 loaves later and sick to his little round stomach, he moaned. "I must be kosher by now, maybe even a little too kosher." Later that day, Baxter arrived at the bus stop. The old man had returned. "Shalom," said the old man. "Hello," said Baxter. I'm glad you're here. I've learned so much. All about pickles and challah. What do you think? Am I kosher yet? The old man looked puzzled. Do you want to be kosher? Baxter nodded. Well, now I've heard it all, said the old man. But a pig is a pig is a pig. It's too bad you aren't a cow. Cows are kosher. All week long, Baxter worked on his mooing. He acquired a handy set of horns. He cultivated a taste for clover. By Friday, he felt fairly certain he was nearly bovine. But this time when he got to the bus stop, nobody was there. He waited and waited, but nobody came. He mooed once more for good measure. Finally dejected, he took off his horns and let out a deep sigh. But just then he felt a tap on his shoulder. Looking up, Baxter found a woman with a big book standing above him. The woman said, Hello, I'm Rabbi Rosen. Can I help you? Oh, I only wish you could, blurted Baxter, but I fear it's hopeless. A pig is a pig is a pig. I'll never be kosher. The rabbi gasped. Why on earth would you want to be kosher? I want to be kosher, explained Baxter, so that I can be part of Shabbat dinner. I gorged on pickles. I stuffed myself with challah. I mooed and grazed, and wore these silly horns for days. But nothing's working. But, said the rabbi, why would you want to get eaten? Eaten? Me? Baxter looked up sharply. Who said anything about getting eaten? I want to see the candles gleaming, glow, and dance. I long to lift my sweetest voice in song. Isn't that what Shabbat dinner's all about? The rabbi burst into laughter. Yes, those things are important. It's true. But my little pink friend, there has been a terrible misunderstanding. Although you're not kosher to eat, and never will be, everyone is welcome at Shabbat dinner. Then the rabbi opened her book and rifled through it. See, she said, look right here. It is a mitzvah to welcome a stranger. And you, my friend, are certainly strange, so I'd be most grateful if you'd join me for Shabbat dinner tonight. Baxter beamed. Oh, thank you, he said. Thank you very much. And so, at last, Baxter the pig watched the candles gleam and glow and dance. And so he raised his sweetest voice in song. And he had a wonderful time. Though it must be admitted, he made rather a mess of his kugel. The end. Thanks for joining us again. Please subscribe. Bye for now.
Hi everyone! Thanks for joining us today and welcome to the reading project. Look at these three friends who joined me today. Yeah, today's book is about bees. Bees is so critical to our globe and I would love to read about them. Let's start. The Bee Man by Laurie Krebs and Valeria Sis. Bees. There wouldn't be sunflowers, wouldn't be peas, wouldn't be apples on apple trees, if it weren't for fuzzy-hulled, buzzy-hulled bees, dusting pollen from off their knees, by Eileen Fisher. Here is my grandpa, who's known in our town as the Bee Man. Here is his jacket with zippered up hood that covers his face just the way that it should. when he visits his hives as the beeman. Here are his gloves made of cotton and leather, protecting his hand in all kind of weather when he tends to his hives as the beeman. Here is the beehive where all the bees sleep, tucked into a box called shallow or deep, and then placed on a stand by the beeman. Here is the smoker that's quiet the bees, and a hive tool that's opened the beehive with ease for a much closer look by the beeman. Here is the queen bee who does her job well and lays tiny eggs in a six-sided cell. She's the heart of the hive, says the beeman. Here are the drone bees with big bulging eyes and a large appetite supporting their size. They met with the queen, adds the beeman. Here are the workers, 10,000 or more, who gather the nectar to bring back and store in honeycomb cells for the beeman. Here are the house bees with swift-moving wings that dry up the nectar a worker bee brings, making honey for me and the beeman. Here is the extractor, it's clickety-clack, removing the honey from frames on its rack and filling up jars for the beeman. Here's some of the honey returned to the hive. It's food for the bees to help them survive the long winter days near the beeman. Here are the bees, protected from harm, inside the hive, huddled cozy and warm, so they'll be here next year, says the beeman. Here is the wagon filled up to the brim with bottles of honey collected by him and brought to the house by the beeman. Here are the muffins, all warm and delicious, and dripping with honey on Grandma's best dishes. I'm glad that's my grandpa's the beeman. The end. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, hit the subscribe button, and share. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan again. Thank you for joining us again. Welcome back to the Reading Project. Today's book is Dad's First Day, written by Mike Winontka. This is Oliver, and this is Oliver's dad. All summer they play together, laugh together, sing together, and read together. When summer was over, it was time for Oliver to start school. Are you ready for school? Yes! The night before school started, Oliver and his dad got ready. Yum yum! Arr, matey! On guard. Perfect, perfect. On the first day of school, Oliver's dad didn't feel good. My tummy hurts. It's okay, Daddy. You're just a little nervous. Come on, let's go. We don't want to be late for the first day of school. But Oliver's dad had a few things he needed to do before they left. Daddy, what are you doing? We need to go now. So Oliver's dad hid behind the couch. Oliver found him. He hid inside the closet. Oliver found him. He hid outside. Daddy! Oliver found him and dragged him to the car. Oliver's dad drove very slowly. You're probably going to really miss me when you're at school, Oliver. Sure, Daddy? When they got to school, Oliver ran to his classroom and met his teacher. So nice to meet you, Oliver. My tummy really hurts. Then it was time to say goodbye. Bye, Daddy. Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. Bye, Daddy. The teacher walked Oliver's dad outside. Oliver's dad drove home. He couldn't stop thinking about Oliver. He worried about Oliver. He missed Oliver, and his tummy really hurt. Then he realized, I'm not ready for school. Oliver's dad drove back to the school. He ran to the classroom, and just before he opened the door, he stopped. He couldn't believe what he saw. Oliver was playing. He was laughing. Then he was singing and reading. Oliver's dad smiled. Oliver and his dad were ready for school. Good job, Daddy. After the first day of school, they celebrated until their tummies hurt. The end. That's a funny book. Like, comment, subscribe, and please share.
Hi here, it's Alona. Thanks for reading with me today in the Reading Project. Today we have a book called Jabari Jumps by Gaia Cornwell. Let's start. I'm jumping off the diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary, but Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and he passed his swim test, and now he was ready to jump. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. Jabari watched the other kids climb the long ladder. They walked all the way out to the end of the board, as big as tiny bugs. Then they stood on the edge. They spread their arms and bent their knees and sprang up, up, up. And then they dove down, down, down. Splash! Looks easy, Jabari said. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder. He looked up. You can go before me if you want, he told the kids behind him. I need to think about what kind of special jump I'm going to do. Jabari thought and thought. Jabari started to climb, up and up. This ladder is very tall, he thought. Are you okay? Called his dad. I'm just a little tired, said Jabari. Maybe you should climb down and take a tiny rest, said his dad. A tiny rest sounded like a good idea. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. I forgot to do my stretches, he said to his dad. Stretching is very important, said his dad. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping, Jabari said. They looked up at the diving board together. It's okay to feel a little scared, said his dad. Sometimes, if I feel a little scared, I take a deep breath and tell myself I am ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels a little like a surprise. Jabari loved surprises. Jabari took a deep breath and felt it fill his body from the ends of his hair right down to the tips of his toes. Jabari looked up. He began to climb, up and up and up and up, until he got to the top. Jabari stood up straight. He walked all the way to the end of the board. His toes curled around the rough edge. Jabari looked up. As far as he could see, he felt like he was ready. I love surprises, he whispered. He took a deep breath and spread his arms and bent his knees. Then he sprang up off the board, flying. Jabari hit the water with a splash. Down, down, down he went, and then back up. Whoosh! Jabari, you did it, said his dad. I did it, said Jabari. I'm a great jumper. And you know what? What? Said his dad. Surprise double backflip is next. The end. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jonathan. Today I'm in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and I'm so excited for our new book. But first, welcome to the reading project. Let's start. Today's book is Frog on a Log, written by Cascaray. Hey Frog, sit on a log, said the cat. But I don't want to sit on a log, said the frog. Logs are all hard and uncomfortable, and they can give you splinters. Ouch. I don't care, said the cat. You're a frog, so you must sit on a log. Can't I sit on a mat? Asked the frog. Only cats sit on mats, said the cat. What about a chair? Said the frog. I wouldn't mind sitting on a chair. Hares sit on chairs, said the cat. Perhaps I could sit on a stool, said the frog. Mules sit on stools, said the cat. What about a sofa, said the frog. I could stretch right out on a sofa. Gophers sit on sofas, said the cat. It's very simple, really. Cats sit on mats, hares sit on chairs, mules sit on stools, gophers sit on sofas, and frogs sit on logs. What do lions sit on? Asked the frog. Lions sit on irons, said the cat. Ouch, said the frog. What do parrots sit on? Parrots sit on carrots, said the cat. Lions sit on irons and parrots sit on carrots. That doesn't sound very comfortable, said the frog. It's not about being comfortable, said the cat. It's about doing the right thing. What do foxes sit on? Asked the frog. Foxes sit on boxes, said the cat. Foxes sit on boxes and fleas sit on peas. What do goats sit on? Asked the frog. Goats sit on coats, said the cat. Goats sit on coats, cows sit on plows, and storks sit on forks. What do gorillas sit on? Asked the frog. Gorillas sit on pillars, rats sit on hats, weasels sit on easels, and moles sit on poles. What do seals sit on? Asked the frog. Don't you know anything? Said the cat. Seals sit on wheels. Doves sit on gloves. Newts sit on flutes. Lizards sit on wizards. And apes sit on grapes. What about puffins? Asked the frog. Puffins sit on muffins, said the cat. Puffins sit on muffins. Snakes sit on cakes. Owls sit on towels. Gibbons sit on ribbons. Lambs sit on jams, and bees sit on keys. Well, I never knew that, said the frog. Well, you do now, said the cat. What do dogs sit on? Asked the frog. I was hoping you weren't going to ask that, said the cat. Help! This is a really funny book. The end. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like my video, subscribe. Bye for now. Hey guys, it's Jonathan here. Welcome back to the reading project. Let's start with today's book. On your mark, get set, go. The Visitor by Antasia Dam. Elise was scared of everything. She was scared of spiders, scared of people, and even scared of trees. So she never went out, night or day. Elise liked her house to be neat and tidy, so she cleaned it every morning. Sometimes she opened the window to let in fresh air. Then one day, something unbelievable happened. A strange thing flew in through the window and landed at her feet. Elise looked at it. "That'll have to go," she decided. She scooped it into the fire, but that night, she was too scared to sleep. The next morning she heard knocking. No one ever knocked at her door. Why would they? She certainly wouldn't answer it. But the knocking didn't stop. In the end, she opened the door. She stared. "I'm here for my plane," said the boy. And can I visit your bathroom? It's urgent," he added. "What shall I do?" wondered Elise. Then she heard herself say, "The bathroom's upstairs, on the left." The boy climbed the stairs and disappeared. It seemed like forever. And then he came back. "Who's that?" he asked. Elise looked at the picture. He waited patiently. "It's me. When I was young," she said with a little smile, "I was invited to a dance, and I wore my prettiest dress." "Cool," said the boy, and he looked around some more. "Have you read them all?" he asked. "I have," said Elise. "Every single one. Will you read one to me?" It was a long time since Elise had read to anyone. The boy wanted to hear every story in the book. Then he wanted to play. When he got hungry, Elise buttered him a slice of bread. "I think you should probably go home now," she said. That sounded a bit sad. "What's your name?" asked the boy. "I'm Elise," said Elise. "And you?" "Emil," said the boy. "Bye, Elise. It's fun at your house." He waved goodbye. "Bye for now, Emil," she said. When it grew dark that night, Elise knew exactly what she wanted to do. The end. Thanks for watching. That's a nice story, but man, don't you ever go to a stranger's house. It could be very dangerous. And also a short reminder, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. See you next time. Bye for now.
Hey guys, it's Leor here. Thank you so much for joining the reading project. Today, I'm going to read such an interesting book called The Girl Who Named Pluto, the story of Venetia Burney by Alice B. McGinty. So let's start. Out of the classroom, down the hallway, and out the door. Venetia Burney and her schoolmates followed their teacher, leaving their British schoolhouse behind. It is the year of 1930, and they are counting their steps from the sun. A circle drawn on their classroom blackboard. 39, 40, 41. Miss Claxton leads, her words as precise as her footsteps. At exactly 41 paces from the sun, they lay down a bird seed. Mercury. At 77 paces, they place a P. Venus. Next, a larger P. Earth. After placing a bead for Mars and an orange for Jupiter, the largest planet, they stopped at 1,019 paces inside University Park. There, they lay down a golf ball, Saturn. There are 2 more planets in the solar system, Uranus and Neptune, but Miss Claxton tells her students that they are too far away. She will let their imaginations finish the planet walk. When Venetia and her friends return to the park later with lumps of clay for the planets, they run, counting paces to Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all the way to Neptune. Venetia's imagination whirls, trying to fathom the real distances she has memorized each number. Stormy blue Neptune orbits 2.79 billion miles from the sun. And what lies beyond? How far does the solar system reach? Venetia brings her questions to breakfast each morning, and Grandfather Madun answers as many as he can. She and Mother have been living with Grandfather since Venetia's father died. Old and stately, like the Oxford Library where he was head librarian. Grandfather knows that questions lead to learning, and his family is afire with learning. Along with the planets, Venetia is learning about Greek and Roman gods. When she reads about Mars, the Roman god of war, she is reminded of her great-uncle, Henry Madan, a science master who named the two moons orbiting the planet. He chose Phobos and Deimos, Mars's twin sons. Moons and planets named from legends. What a marvelous link between science and history. At breakfast one Friday, as Grandfather sifts through the newspaper, he starts to read aloud. A new planet discovery by Lowell Observatory. Professor Harlow Shapley announced today that the Lowell Observatory at Flagstaff, Arizona, had discovered a 9th major planet. The planet, which has not yet been named, is beyond Neptune. A new planet? Venetia leans forward in her chair, another lump of clay to add to their model. I wonder what it should be called, Grandfather says, his brow creased. Venetia's imagination takes off flying, leaping, connecting the dots from science to story. She knows that this planet, so far from the sun, must be frozen, dark, and lifeless. It would be like the underworld ruled in Roman myths by Neptune's brother, Pluto. It might be called Pluto, Venetia says. Grandfather's eyes widen. He loves the name. He tells Venetia that he'll share her idea with his friend, Professor Herbert Hall Turner of the Royal Astronomical Society. Perhaps he has a say in the decision. After Venetia leaves for school, Grandfather writes this note. Dear Professor, blessed if my little granddaughter Venetia Bernay didn't up and suggest a name, which to me seems thoroughly suitable, Pluto. Sincerely, Madame. On his way to the library, Grandfather drops off the note at the professor's home. Meanwhile, not far away, Venetia and her schoolmates are buzzing with excitement about the new planet. They fire question after question at Miss Claxton. Miss Claxton promises to find out. That evening, Venetia lies in bed, her mind adrift with Planet X. In the flurry of her thoughts spins one name, Pluto. Could it be the name for the new planet? Were the astronomers deciding now? Saturday morning dawns, and Venetia and Grandfather search the paper for more information about Planet X. Mostly, though, they wait to hear from the professor. That afternoon, a response arrives. My dear Madame, I got your note on my return from London. I think Pluto excellent. We did not manage to think of anything so good at the Royal Astronomical Society yesterday. The professor's note goes on to say that he has written to the astronomers at Lowell about Pluto. It will be up to them to decide. A week goes by. At school, Venetia works on lessons in math, science, and history. At home, she and Grandfather keep busy, reading, playing, and waiting. Will the astronomers like her idea? March turns to April and Venetia waits. April drags on. Outside, the trees sprout leaves, and Venetia waits. If Venetia could see what was happening across the ocean, she would find that Pluto has made its way through the doors of the Lowell Observatory to Clyde Tombaugh, the shy assistant who discovered Planet X. His first choice for a name, Pluto, not only is it a perfect fit for this dark, icy world, but the first two letters are PL, the initials of the astronomer Percival Lowell, who began the research for the planet. Finally, at the end of the month, the astronomers vote. It's unanimous. The 9th planet will be named Pluto. When Grandfather shares the news with Venetia, she beams, her eyes radiant. Grandfather sends a check to Miss Claxton, thanking her for her teaching. With the money, the school purchases a gramophone and names it Pluto. Venetia is a hero. As Venetia grows, Pluto tilts and spins in its long, slow orbit around the sun. It shares the outer reaches of the solar system with other spheres newly discovered by astronomers. Venetia gets older and older still. Her hair turned silver. And one gray July afternoon, the day before her 89th birthday, she travels to the Observatory Science Center near the southern tip of England. She has been invited to view Pluto through a telescope, her first time ever. It's raining though, and it takes a clear sky to see the dwarf planets. But as Venetia nears, the rain stops and the clouds begin to part. A lovely sunset fills the sky. Later, the darkness twinkling with stars, Venetia and the scientists climb to the observatory's dome where the 111-year-old telescope is waiting. The scientists locate Pluto, and Venetia puts her eye to the lens. "By God," she says in an awed voice, "there it is, that icy sphere, spinning, 3.67 billion miles from the sun, many paces past Neptune, and its name is Pluto." The end. This inspirational book is based on a true story. I hope you loved this book as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. See you next time.
Hi kids, it's Alona here. Welcome back to the reading project. Are you guys ready for our next story? Come on, let's start. The Bad Seed, written by Jory John. I'm a bad seed. A bad seed. Oh yeah, it's true. The other seed, they look at me and they said, "That seed is so bad." When they think I'm not listening, they mumble, "There goes a bad seed." But I can hear them. I have good hearing for a seed. How bad am I? You really want to know? Well, I never put things back where they belong. I'm late to everything. I tell long jokes with no punchlines. I never wash my hands or my feet. I lie about pointless stuff. I cut in line every time. I stare at everybody. I glare at everybody. I finish everybody's sentences and I never listen. And I do a lot of other bad things too. Know why? Because I'm bad seed. A bad seed. I just can't help it. Sure, I wasn't always this bad. I was born a humble seed on a simple sunflower in an unremarkable field. I had a big family, seeds everywhere. We found ways of having fun. We were close. But then the petals dropped and our flower drooped. It's kind of a blur. I remember a bag. Everything went dark. And then a giant. I thought I was a goner. I thought I was done for. I screamed and hollered, "Ah!" But I was spit out at the last possible second. I flew through the air and I landed under the bleachers with a huge thud. When I woke up, it was dark outside. A wad of gum had softened my fall. I felt okay, but something had changed in me. I'd become a different seed entirely. I'd become a bad seed. A bad seed. That's right. I stopped smiling. I kept to myself. I drifted. I was friend to nobody and bad to everybody. I was lost on purpose. I live inside a soda can. I didn't care, and it suited me. Until recently, I've made a big decision. I've decided I don't want to be a bad seed anymore. I'm ready to be happy. It's hard to be good when you're so used to being bad. But I'm trying. I'm taking it one day at a time. Sure, I still forget to listen, and I still show up late, and I still talk during movies, and I do all kinds of other bad stuff. But I also say thank you, and I say please, and I smile, and I hold doors open for people. Not always, but sometimes. And even though I still feel bad, sometimes I also feel kind of good. It's sort of a mix. All I can do is keep trying and keep thinking, maybe I'm not such a bad seed after all. Hey, look, there goes that bad seed. Actually, he's not all that bad anymore. I heard that. There is a bad seed. He's not so bad. The end. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you all enjoyed the story. Please remember to subscribe. Bye for now.
Hey guys, guess who's here? It's Yunton. Welcome to our reading project. Ta-dam! Today we're going to read the book President Squid by Aaron Reynolds. Let's start. I have realized something very important. Something that changes everything. No giant squid has ever been president before, which means I'll be the first. President Squid. Now that has a nice ring to it. I will be the greatest president who ever lived. Wanna know why? Here are 5 important reasons. Reason 1. Presidents wear ties. See? Tie. See? Tie. See? Tie. Bow ties count. Wearing a tie is very presidential. And I look fabulous in a tie. Do you see any other giant squids around here wearing ties? That's what I thought. Reason 2. The president has the biggest house ever. Have you seen the president's house? It's huge. I mean, this place is enormous. Well, have you seen my house? It's not just huge. It's not just enormous. It's absolutely titanic. Pretty cool, huh? Reason 3. Presidents are famous. Let's face it. I'm the most famous sea creature on this whole page. Do you know that guy? Of course not. He's a nobody. How about that fish over there? You never heard of him, right? How about me? Do you know who I am? President Squid, you say? Exactly. I even have a book named after me. You're reading it right now. See? Famous. Reason number 4. Presidents get to do all the talking. I am great at doing all the talking. I'm doing all the talking right now. I'm doing all the talking about 5 reasons why I should be president. And when presidents talk, everyone has to listen. Are you listening? I said, everyone has to listen. And finally, reason 5. The president is the big boss. Bossing people around may be the most presidential thing a president does. And I am perfect at being the big boss. After all, there's nobody bigger than me. See? And there's nobody bossier than me. Hey, shark, brush your teeth. Hey, jellyfish, comb your tentacles. You look terrible. See? Very bossy. I'll be in charge of everybody. I think I'm ready for all that power. Let's go over this once more for those of you who are a little slow. Where's the tie? Check. Huge house? Check. Famous? Check. Does all the talking? Checkity check, check. Big and bossy? Check and check. I'm perfect for this job. All hail President Squid! I said, all hail President Squid. There is no hailing going on. What's the problem, people? You, Sardine, why aren't you hailing me? I would, but I'm stuck on this clam. Does that clam know that I'm wearing a tie? He doesn't seem to care about your choice of neckwear, sir. How strange does the clam know how big my house is? He seems unimpressed. Do you know who I am, Clam? Do you realize how famous I am? He says he's never heard of you, sir. You have got to be kidding me. Clam, this is President Squid. I do all the talking. Yes, sir, Bob. When I talk, everybody has to listen. Presidents talk, clams listen. That's my motto. I say swim, you say how fast? I say back off from the sardine. You back off, bub. And I say unhand him this very instant. Clams don't have ears. Stand back, little sardine. I'm coming. I'll help you. You did it, sir. You helped me. I did help you. I just jumped in there and helped you. Helping people. That's very presidential. It is? It is. Being president is more work than I thought. All hail President Squid! All hail President Squid! Wait, I have realized something very important. Being president is exhausting. I do not want to be president. I want to be King Squid, all-powerful ruler of the entire universe. All the power, none of the work. Now that has a nice ring to it. The end. Thanks for watching. And if you like my video, subscribe.
Hi guys, it's Alona here. Welcome to the reading project. In today's book, we will explore the cycle of water. Are you guys ready? Let's start. The Biggest Puddle in the World by Mark Lee and Natalie Dion. Charlie and I were staying with Granny B and my grandfather Big T for 6 whole days. The first day, we explored all the rooms in the big old house. Then it started to rain. So the second day, we stayed inside and explored a few more places, but it kept raining. The third day, we played dress up and the rain didn't stop. Charlie and I wanted to go outside, but there was too much rain. Big fat drops of it splattered on the ground. Water gushed out of a gutter spout. Where does the rain come from? I asked my grandfather. I'll show you when the storm passes, he said, but first we'll have to find the biggest puddle in the world. The biggest puddle in the world, how big would that be? The next morning, patches of sunlight appeared on the kitchen floor. Big T's outside with Skipper, Granny B said. After breakfast, you can go exploring. Charlie and I found Big T chopping wood. We want to find the biggest puddle in the world, I said. Big T put down his axe. Then let's go look for it. The wet earth and the shiny grass smelled like spring. During the rain, a clump of mushrooms had popped up on a fallen log. There's a puddle, I said, and Keeper jumped in it. It's not a very big puddle, Charlie said. I guess we'll have to keep searching, Big T said. Wildflowers had opened after the rain. Bees crawled inside them like little balls of buzz. Keeper found a puddle beneath a willow tree, and Charlie and I jumped in it together. That was still a small puddle, I said. We need to find one bigger than that. Our grandfather smiled. Follow the water. Charlie and I found a trickle coming from the puddle, and that combined with other trickles and fed into a stream. We followed the stream and it emptied into a pond. Water striders glided across the surface. In the shallows, tadpoles emerged from filmy white eggs. The pond is like a big puddle. That's right, a lot of small puddles make a bigger one. Big T scooped up some water with his hand and dripped it onto a flat rock. Then he pulled out a pencil and a piece of paper and asked me to draw a puddle map. When I was done with my map, I looked at the flat rock. The water had disappeared. Where did it go? I asked. Look up and you'll see. The water in the air becomes the cloud in the sky. This little pond makes all those big clouds. It's water from ponds and rivers and the biggest puddle in the world. I jumped up. Let's go find it. On the other side of the pond, we found a river. We followed it through thorn bushes and down a muddy hill to a beach that faced the ocean, the biggest puddle in the world. The cold wind smelled like slippery seaweed. Waves rolled in with a rushing, hushing sound. Charlie touched my arm. You're it, he shouted, and we ran along the edge of the surf, kicking up spray. Back at the house, we took off our wet clothes and ate dinner at the big table. Granny B served blackberry pie with ice cream for dessert. That night, a new storm arrived. Raindrops rattled on the roof and trickled down the window panes, and I was happy because the rain and the puddles and the pond and the ocean and Charlie and Keeper and my grandparents were all connected to me in a wonderful way. Charlie, I whispered, do you hear the rain? But he was already dreaming. The end. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.
Hi guys, welcome back! It's Yantan here. Thanks for joining me in the reading project. Are you ready for my next book? Let's start. Don't forget Dexter by Lindsay Ward. Hello? Is anyone there? Oh hi, I'm Dexter. Dexter T. Dexter. Can you help me? I'm looking for my best friend Jack. We came here together for a checkup. We were coloring and then I looked up and Jack was gone. It's been a really long time, like forever. Maybe you have seen him. I know. I'll make you a picture. How can you not remember him? He was just here. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shout. Please don't go. Hey, you think this guy saw him? Excuse me. Hello, Mr. Fish. Have you seen my best friend Jack? I know. I'll ask this lady up there. But she knows where Jack is. Hello, Miss Lady. Can you help me? I know. I'll sing our song. Then Jack will come back and find me. Dexter Dino, stomp through the swamp. Dexter Dino. Chomp, chomp, chomp. He'll be here any second. Ha! Maybe you can't hear me. I know. I'll sing louder. Dexter Dino, stomp through the swamp. Dexter Dino, chomp, chomp, chomp. Is he coming? Do you see him? I don't understand. How could he forget me? I sang our song. Why isn't he coming back? Oh no. What if he left me here on purpose? No, this isn't happening to me. I'm Dexter T-Rexter, the toughest, strongest, coolest dinosaur there has ever been. Ever. Right? I mean, look at my tail. See how swishy it is. Swish, swish, swash. And I've got big teeth. Chomp, chomp, chomp. And my claws are pretty sharp. Scratch, scratch, roar. And my feet, they make this really cool sound. Listen. Stomp, stomp, stomp. What do you mean? Maybe you like something more? More than me? Like another toy? Oh no. You don't think? No, not that. Anything but that. Cars and trucks and things that go? I can't compete with that. I can't honk. I can't beep. I can't even make cool raving sounds. Wait, what did you say? You think dinosaurs are awesome? Even better than trucks? Really? Me too. I know. Wait right there. Dexter's super genius escape plan. Lots of determination. Unhelpful spectator. Extra sturdy climbing rope. Grrr. Again. Ah! Splash. What if I never get out of here? No more stomping, no more chomping, no more singing. I love singing. No more playtime, no more bath time, no more bedtime snuggles, no more Jack. He's really never, ever, ever, ever coming back. Dexter, he's back. I knew it. And you were so worried. Dexter Dino, race around the room. Dexter Dino, vroom, vroom, vroom. The end. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more stories. Bye for now. Hi, it's Yanton again. Welcome to the Reading Project. Today we're going to read a story about friendship. Let's start. Can Cat and Bird Be Friends? By Carl Miller. Are you a bird? Yes, I am. Then I must eat you. Why? Because I am a cat. And cats eat birds. Why do cats eat birds? I don't know. It's always been like that. Can't I be your friend instead? Oh, I'm not sure about that. How would a bird make a good friend for a cat? Well, I know a fun box for a cat to play in. I love this box. I know the highest tree for a cat to get stuck in. This tree is very tall. And I know the best car for a cat to hide under. I agree. This is a fantastic car to hide under. Okay, Bird, you can be my friend. Wait a second. How would a cat make a good friend for a bird? Well, let me think. I know the perfect wire for a bird to sit on. This is a lovely wire. I know where there are lots of twigs for a bird to make a nest with. These are super sticks. I know where there are lots of juicy worms for a bird to eat. These worms are totally tasty. Okay, bird, we can be friends. But friends do things together. Don't they, cat? Yes. Well, I don't like playing in boxes, getting stuck up in high trees, or hiding under cars. And I don't like sitting on wires, making a nest, or eating worms. You're right. If we are going to be friends, we've got to find something we both like doing. So, what do we both like doing? I like stretching. Do you? Not really. Do you like cleaning yourself in water? No, I don't. Do you like licking? Nope. Do you like flying? Of course not. I am a cat. I guess that's it. Then we have nothing in common. We can't be friends. Oh well, I think I'll just go home. I've got a painting to finish. Painting? I love painting. I love painting too. We can be friends. Yes, we can. The end. Thanks for watching. If you like our video, please subscribe to this one and see others. Bye. Hey guys, it's Johnson here. I'm in Philadelphia this morning. So good morning, Philadelphia. Welcome everyone to my reading project. So today we're going to read the book called Where Are My Books by Debbie Redpath Ohi. Spencer loved books. His favorite bedtime book was Night Night Narwhal. Sometimes he read it aloud. Every night, Spencer put the book back where it belonged. That way he'd always be able to find it. Until one morning, where is my book? Spencer looked everywhere, but it was no use. Night Night Narwhal was gone. That evening he chose Tenacious Todd. It was okay, but Toad was a toad. And toads were amphibians, and amphibian books were supposed to be for right after lunch story time. When Spencer woke the next morning, Tenacious Toad was gone. Every morning, another book was missing. Next to go was Sand and the Clownfish. Then Beluga vanished. Sea Monkey and Bob went missing. Things were getting out of hand. Spencer vowed to find out what was going on. His father did not know what happened to Night Night Narwhal. Spencer's mother had no idea either, nor had she seen Tenacious Todd, Send in the Clownfish, Beluga, or any of Spencer's other missing books. That left only one person. Where are my books? It was time for a new plan. That night, Spencer set a trap with his copy of Space Frog Sam. The next morning, it was time for Spencer to get his books back. Where are my books? Spencer ran faster. The thief was just around the corner. Aha, he said. That's my books? Spencer didn't know squirrels liked to read. It gave him a great idea. Spencer told the squirrels they could borrow his books, but there would be rules. Just like at the library, they had to return the books they borrowed before they could borrow more. but they didn't need to leave anything behind. Spencer even helped them pick out their first book. He chose one for himself too, and he promised to read it aloud. The end. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.
Hey here, it's Alona. Thank you for joining us again to the reading project. Welcome back for another story. Let's start. We Forgot Brock by Carter Goodrich. This is Philip and Brock. They're best friends. They spend all their time goofing around together. The weird thing is nobody else can see Brock. Everyone calls him Philip's imaginary friend, whatever that means. At dinner, Philip might say something like, "Brock would like some more, please." But his mom only pretends to give Brock seconds. Or sometimes in the driveway, Philip yells, "Wait, Dad! Brock has to move his chopper!" "Please ask Brock to hurry up," Philip's dad will say. Brock can also be really funny, but Philip's parents never get it. One evening, the whole family piled into the car and headed to the big fair. "Brock wants us to ride the brain shaker," said Philip. "Tell Brock the brain shaker is a big kid's ride," his dad said. At the big fair, Philip and Brock rode the merry-go-round first, then the bumper cars, then the tilt-a-whirl. Philip got some cotton candy. Brock didn't want any. He only liked beans and spaghetti. Finally, after the Ferris wheel, Philip got sleepy. But Brock wasn't sleepy at all. It was time to ride the brain shaker. Philip woke up as soon as the car pulled into the driveway. "Where's Brock?" he yelled. Then he ran inside to see if maybe Brock was already home. But he wasn't. "We forgot Brock," Philip sobbed. "We forgot Brock!" Back at the big fair, Brock couldn't find Philip. He went back on the Ferris wheel for a better view, but he couldn't see Philip anywhere. "Are you okay?" somebody asked from above. Brock said he was lost, and he wanted to go home. "My name is Anne," the little girl said, "and this is Princess Sparkle Dust. Would you like to come home with us?" So Princess Sparkle Dust, Anne, and Brock all went home together. The next day, Princess Sparkle Dust and Anne found Brock sitting all by himself. He missed Philip very much. They did magic tricks to cheer him up. Then the three of them began to invent games and tell each other stories. Meanwhile, Philip spent the day looking for Brock. He searched everywhere, but he couldn't find him. Just as Brock was beginning to have a lot of fun, he remembered how much he missed Philip. And just as Philip was about to give up his search, Brock! Brock introduced Philip to his new friends, Anne and Princess Sparkle Dust. From then on, Philip, Brock, Anne, and Princess Sparkle Dust all became best friends. They spent all their time goofing around together. And everything was even better than before. It seems like Philip's mom found Brock's hat. Do you think he was really real? The end. Thanks for watching. If you like our stories, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye. Hi guys, it's Alona here. Welcome to the Reading Project. Today we're gonna read a story about a young girl journey, Ida, and her friend the whale. Ida and the whale. by Rebecca Guger and Simone Roethlisberger. There was once a little girl named Ida who lived in a birch tree. She had yellow rubber boots and red hair. Ida often sat high up outside her tree house, wondering what lay beyond the sun, the moon, and the stars. One night, the treehouse suddenly began to shake. It shook so hard that her bed began to slide here, there, and everywhere. What was happening? Wow! Outside was a gigantic flying whale. "Why are you waking me in the middle of the night?" asked Ida, still half asleep. "Would you like to come with me on a journey beyond the stars?" asked the friendly whale. What an adventure! Of course Ida wanted to go with him. In a flash she had climbed the ladder, and then the two of them flew up and up toward the world beyond. As they flew through the middle of a thick curtain of clouds, they talked about all kinds of things, big and little, ordinary and special, known and unknown. They soon reached a very strange place. Everything seems to be upside down. What was the top and what was the bottom? "So now what is normal?" asked the whale. "Sometimes you can only understand others if you stand on your head yourself." They flew upside down until they came to a beautiful green place that was full of sweet scents. "Why is the flower flying away?" asked Ida. "So that it can grow again, like the rest of us," said the whale. "Some quicker, some slower, but all of us grow." Suddenly, thunder rumbled softly, but then it became louder and louder. More and more clouds began to pile up, and dazzling flashes of lightning shot out of them. The storm was wild and violent, and left nothing untouched. "I'm glad there are two of us," thought Ida. Slowly the storm calmed down, and then everything was still and empty. Ida looked around. "Just wait and then look again," said the whale. "Sometimes there's more to see than you think." Ida listened to the silence for quite a while, and suddenly she felt lonely and a long way from home. She was so small and so alone. Where was her friend? The whale gave Ida a nudge. "Why are you so sad, my little friend?" he asked. "I'm right here. Sometimes it's nice to share a silence. Sometimes you can even lose sight of each other, but you are still close together, always." Ida's loneliness flew far away. "I love you, my flying giant," whispered Ida as the two of them said goodbye. "See you soon," they shouted to each other, and the whale disappeared behind the trees. The end. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful story. If you want to listen to other stories, please join our channel. Bye!
Hey guys, it's Lior. Welcome back to the Reading Project. Today's story is a book that I loved as a child. My mom would read it to me all the time. It's called Library Lion by Michelle Knudsen, illustrated by Kevin Hawkes. So let's get started. One day, a lion came to the library. He walked right past the circulation desk and up into the stacks. Mr. McBee ran down the hall to the head librarian's office. "Miss Merriweather," he called, "No running," said Miss Merriweather without looking up. "But there's the lion," said Mr. McBee, "in the library." "Is he breaking any rules?" asked Miss Merriweather. She was very particular about rule breaking. "Well, no," said Mr. McBee, "not really." "Then leave him be." The lion wandered all around the library. He sniffed the card catalog, he rubbed his head against the new book collection, then he padded over to the story corner and went to sleep. No one was sure what to do. There weren't any rules about lions in the library. Soon it was time for story hour. There weren't any rules about lions at story hour either. The story lady seemed a little nervous, but she read out the first book's title in a good, clear voice. The lion looked up. The story lady kept reading. The lion stayed for the next story, and the story after that. He waited for another story, but the children began to walk away. "Story hour is over," a little girl told him. "It's time to go." The lion looked at the children. He looked at the story lady. He looked at the closed books. Then he roared very loud. "Roar!" Miss Merriweather came striding out of her office. "Who is making that noise?" she demanded. "It's the lion," said Mr. McBee. Miss Merriweather marched over to the lion. "If you cannot be quiet, you will have to leave," she said in a stern voice. "Those are the rules." The lion kept roaring. He sounded sad. The little girl tugged on Miss Merriweather's dress. "If he promises to be quiet, can he come back for story hour tomorrow?" she asked. The lion stopped roaring. He looked at Miss Merriweather. Miss Merriweather looked back. Then she said, "Yes, a nice quiet lion would certainly be allowed to come back for story hour tomorrow." "Hooray!" said the children. The next day, the lion came back. "You're early," said Miss Merriweather. "Story hour is not until 3 o'clock." The lion did not budge. "Very well," said Miss Merriweather. "You might as well make yourself useful." She sent him off to dust the encyclopedias until it was time for story hour. The next day, the lion came early again. This time, Miss Merriweather asked him to lick all the envelopes for the overdue notices. Soon, the lion began doing things without being asked. He dusted the encyclopedias. He licked the envelopes. He let small children stand on his back to reach books on the highest shelves. Then he curled up in the story corner to wait for story hour to begin. At first, the people in the library were nervous about the lion, but soon they got used to having him around. In fact, he seemed very well suited for the library. His big feet were quiet on the library floor. He made a comfy backrest for the children at story hour, and he never roared in the library anymore. "What a helpful lion," people said. They patted his soft head as he walked by. How did we ever get along without him? Mr. McBee scowled when he heard that. They had always gotten along fine before. No lions were needed. Lions, he thought, could not understand rules. They did not belong in the library. One day, after he had dusted all the encyclopedias and licked all the envelopes and helped all the small children, the lion padded down the hall to Miss Merriweather's office to see what else there was to do. There was still some time left before story hour. "Hello, Lion," said Miss Merriweather. "I know something you can do. You can bring a book back into the stacks for me. Let me just get it down from the shelf." Miss Merriweather stood on her toes. She stretched out her fingers. "Almost there," she said. Then Miss Merriweather stretched a little too far. "Ouch," said Miss Merriweather softly. She did not get up. "Mr. McBee," she called after a minute. "Mr. McBee." But Mr. McBee was at the circulation desk. He could not hear her calling. "Lion," said Miss Merriweather, "please go and get Mr. McBee." The lion ran down the hall. "No running," Miss Merriweather called after him. He put his big front paws up on the circulation desk and looked at Mr. McBee. "Go away, lion," said Mr. McBee. "I'm busy." The lion whined. He pointed his nose down the hall toward Miss Merriweather's office. Mr. McBee ignored him. Finally, the lion did the only thing he could think of to do. He looked Mr. McBee right in the eye. Then he opened his mouth very wide and he roared the loudest roar he had ever roared in his life. Roar! Mr. McBee gasped. "You're not being quiet," he said to the lion. "You're breaking the rules." Mr. McBee walked down the hall as fast as he could. The lion did not follow him. He had broken the rules. He knew what that meant. He hung his head and walked toward the doors. Mr. McBee did not notice. "Miss Merriweather," he called as he walked. "Miss Merriweather, the lion broke the rules. The lion broke the rules." He burst into Miss Merriweather's office. She was not in her chair. "Miss Merriweather?" he asked. "Sometimes," said Miss Merriweather from the floor behind her desk, "there is a good reason to break the rules, even in the library. Now please go call a doctor. I think I've broken my arm." Mr. McBee ran to call the doctor. "No running," Miss Merriweather called after him. The next day, things were back to normal. Almost. Miss Merriweather's left arm was in a cast. The doctor had told her not to work too hard. "I will have my lion to help me," Miss Merriweather thought, but the lion did not come to the library that morning. At 3 o'clock, Miss Merriweather walked over to the story corner. The story lady was just beginning a story for the children. The lion was not there. People in the library kept looking up from their books and computer screens, hoping they would see a familiar furry face. But the lion did not come that day. The lion did not come the next day either, or the day after that. One evening, Mr. McBee stopped by Miss Merriweather's office on his way out. "Can I do anything for you before I go, Miss Merriweather?" he asked her. "No, thank you," said Miss Merriweather. She was looking out the window. Her voice was very quiet, even for the library. Mr. McBee frowned as he walked away. He thought there probably was something he could do for Miss Merriweather after all. Mr. McBee left the library, but he did not go home. He walked around the neighborhood. He looked under cars. He looked behind bushes. He looked in the backyards and trash cans and tree houses. Finally, he circled all the way back to the library. The lion was sitting outside, looking in through the glass doors. "Hello, lion," said Mr. McBee. The lion did not turn around. "I thought you might like to know," said Mr. McBee, "that there's a new rule at the library. No roaring allowed unless you have a very good reason. Say if you're trying to help a friend who's been hurt, for example." The lion's ears twitched. He turned around, but Mr. McBee was already walking away. The next day, Mr. McBee walked down the hall to Miss Merriweather's office. "What is it, Mr. McBee?" asked Miss Merriweather in her new, sad, quiet voice. "I thought you might like to know," said Mr. McBee, "that there's a lion in the library." Miss Merriweather jumped up from her chair and ran down the hall. Mr. McBee smiled. "No running," he called after her. Miss Merriweather didn't listen. Sometimes there was a good reason to break the rules, even in the library. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did as a child. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and join the Reading Project family. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi guys, it's Yanton here. Welcome to the Reading Project. Today's book is How to Be a Lion by Ed Veer. So let's start. The world is full of ideas. big ones, small ones, good ones, bad ones. Some think this, others think that. Some say there's only one way to be a lion. They say lions are fierce. If they catch you, they will chomp you. Crunch, crunch, chomp. They say a lion can't be gentle. Leonard loves to walk by himself, feeling the sun warm his back and the grass under his paws. Some days, Leonard walks to his thinking hill. Sometimes he thinks important thoughts. Sometimes he daydreams. Somewhere in between, he hums quietly and plays with words, putting them together. This way, then that way, making them into poems. Some say, wait, lions are not gentle. Lions do not write poems. And if a lion met a duck, bad luck for that duck. Crunch, crunch, chomp. But if Leonard met a duck, what do you think would happen? Hello, said Leonard. I'm Leonard. Hello, said the duck. I'm Mary Ann. I'm writing a poem, said Leonard, but I'm stuck. Will you help me? You're in luck, said Mary Ann. I am a poetic duck. Together, they played with Leonard's poem until the words came unstuck. Leonard and Mary Ann found they like each other. Under the sun, in the long grass, they lay together. They played. They went for walks and had long meandering conversations. A mixture of quacks and quiet roars. At night, they watched for shooting stars and made wishes if they saw them. Do you think the universe has edges? Quacked Mary Ann. If it doesn't, said Leonard, we will fall out. Together, they are happy, and they wish for nothing more than this. Some say that a lion should have chomped a duck by now. One day, a pack of fierce lions came prowling around. What's going on here? They growled. Why hasn't this duck been chomped? This duck is Mary Ann, said Leonard. She's my friend, and nobody will chomp her. The fierce lions came closer. We heard you're gentle. We heard you make up poems, but not chomping a duck? You've gone too far. The fierce lions growled and roared. There's only one way to be a lion. Leonard, you must be fierce. Must I be fierce? Said Leonard. Must I change? They're wrong, quacked Mary Ann, and we will show them why. Leonard and Mary Ann went to their thinking hill. They thought hard. After a while, Leonard hummed a serious hum. An idea started to form. Mary Ann quacked a serious quack. The idea grew. They put their words together, like this, like that, building them into a poem that made sense of what they thought. Finally, they were ready. Leonard took a deep breath. I'll say this quietly. I needn't roar to be heard. I can be a friend, to be, or a bird. You said I must change. I must chomp Mary Ann. But chomping your friends is a terrible plan. Let nobody say just one way is true. There are so many ways that you can be you. If there must be a must, then this we must try. Why don't you be you, and I will be I? Some say words can't change the world, Leonard says. If they make you think, then maybe they can. Is there just one way to be a lion? I don't think so. Do you? That's a nice book. The end. Thanks for watching. If you like our stories, please subscribe. Bye for now.
Hello again, it's Alana here. Welcome back to the Reading Project. Today we are about to read a wonderful story. I remember reading it as a young girl. It's definitely my favorite story. I'm super excited. Let's start. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples, and play in my shade, and be happy." "I'm too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I'm too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. It's definitely a must-read for children. We can learn a lot about the importance of caring, giving, and how we should treat others. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye for now.